Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Kobe Nightingale and I'm the Marketing Exec at Intelligence. Today we are presenting how COVID-19 is driving digital change in the travel and transport sector, presented by Nicholas Bell and Conrad Thomason. Now, without further ado, we'll turn over to Conrad Thomason.
Welcome to our webinar about managing digital change in the travel and transportation sector. My name is Conrad Thomason. I'm the Digital Transformation Director at Intelligence Systems Limited. So let me explain a little bit more about what we do. We are a digital and IT change consultancy. What we do is we help clients modernize and upgrade their IT infrastructures. We help them with digital change. And we're also a team of business analysts and data scientists who've developed our own IT data correlation platform called Stratium. And we also provide managed services for security, desktop, applications, networks, and a lot more. A bit about me. I personally have over 20 years experience delivering change programs across a broad range of industries and sectors, both public and private. I started out my career working for a top-tier consulting firm called Capgemini. And last year, I was running a very large digital transformation for a travel business based on the South Coast. I'll be running this webinar with Nicholas Bell, who's an industry professional over 20 years. But before I hand over to Nick, let me explain a little bit more about the webinar. It'll be 30 minutes, and it's going to be recorded, so I hope you guys are all okay with that. We will send you a copy after the webinar, and it'll also be available on our website, and we'll be uploading it to YouTube too. Also, after this webinar, we'll be sending you a feedback form, and we'd be really grateful if you could send us your feedback. It'd be really valued and appreciated. And also, if you're interested in learning more or seeing some of the digital solutions that we're going to touch on today, please let us know in that feedback form. Now, the objective of this webinar is to discuss some of the challenges facing the travel and transportation sector as a result of this terrible virus, and to explain how these challenges are driving digital change. What we'd also like to do is share with you 7 strategies to help you manage this change, which we've implemented with some of our customers, including some of the sizable benefits they have been able to achieve. And as I said, if you're interested in seeing more of these digital solutions or what we've implemented with some of our clients, please let us know via the feedback form. Now, let me hand it to Nick, who will be able to put into context some of the challenges and drivers for change within this sector.
Thanks for the introduction, Conrad, and for having me as a guest. Welcome, everyone. Just a little plug for those of you that don't know me, and even those that do. As Conrad said, I've worked in the travel and transportation industry for over 20 years. At the start of my industry career, I worked for a consultancy that was awarded the contract to implement P&O's digital strategy at the time. I then went on to work for P&O for 5 years with responsibility for driving business change and managing IT programs. Then at that time, seeking a new challenge, I took a bit of a sidestep and moved from the supply to the buy side, taking on a role of e-commerce director at a company called Pharos Data, which is a technology company that specializes in the distribution of ferry reservation and ticketing services to the travel trade. In my latter 2 years at Pharos, I stepped up to become the managing director, driving growth as well as business planning to take the company well into the future. I left Pharos last year to take on a managing director's role within the FRS group of companies, and now have pivoted back into business consulting for the industry. Before we delve into the 7 strategies that Conrad referred to at the opening, I'd like to add some context by highlighting some of the main challenges for the industry going forward. Now, I'm sure you'll agree that COVID-19 has hit us all like a bolt from the blue, none more so than the travel and transportation sector. In this digital era of unlimited travel and cheap fares, business has never been better, but none of us could have ever been prepared for what was to come. This new reality is forcing many businesses to reimagine the customer journey and essentially reshape their business models to deliver a new future to their staff, their customers, and to their suppliers. It's a new future which is very uncertain, but one thing that is for sure is that companies will need to change, however challenging that may be at this time. Now, I know a lot of digital change projects have been put on hold, but those that fast track their digital capability projects now will be the ones that will survive. It's unlikely we will see passenger numbers reach pre-pandemic levels for some time to come. And as a counterbalance, we're seeing severe cost-cutting measures with layoffs across the sector. There simply is too much supply for what is and will be for some time to come of very limited demand. And even when recovery is well underway, that demand will be funneled through the various social distancing measures that will be enforced. What I mean by that is that there will be reduced capacity limits, so businesses will need to operate a lot more efficiently than they are today. As a consequence of these factors, we are seeing various forms of mitigation. For example, some airlines are sending older fleet to scrap to avoid operational maintenance costs, and ferry companies are essentially following the same principle and sending some of their old vessels to scrap as well. Many travel and transportation businesses are also facing ever-mounting financial losses due to billions owed in cancellation refunds and the issue of vouchers for future travel. It's clear that fares will have to increase, and in doing so, vouchers may not necessarily cover the full cost of travel, putting customer loyalty at an all-time low. The sector will have to be more collaborative and potentially less competitive if it is to meet the new customer demand and reality. Signs of this, however, are already starting to take shape. For example, in the ferry industry, there's a joint initiative regarding onboard social distancing policies, reduced passenger capacities, and controls on numbers admitted to shops and dining areas, as well as allowing passengers to stay in vehicles on shorter journeys. There's even been a temporary suspension of competition laws by the government in order to maintain essential services between the UK islands and the mainland. So, with all these challenges in mind, what is the way forward for the travel and transportation companies, particularly when it comes to operating in this new environment? Conrad is going to share 7 key strategies that are supported by digital change projects Intergents have implemented with their customers, which we hope you will find useful. Conrad, over to you.
Thanks a lot, Nick. Now, many businesses, including travel and transportation businesses, rely on very old, clunky, complex network infrastructures that probably only a few individuals within the business actually understand. Now, to coin a very old phrase, a house built on sand won't stand, and the same applies to your network. The new normal means that businesses really need to think about becoming more agile and flexible to cope with this ever-changing patterns in demand, especially now that many staff are being forced to take calls and make bookings from home. Now, software-driven networks or virtual WAN architectures not only perform much better, they're more scalable and a lot cheaper. They're also easy to manage and much less vulnerable to security threats compared to traditional networks. However, implementing an SD-WAN solution doesn't have to be too onerous. At Intergents, we've been using SD-WAN technology in a really simple way by helping home workers achieve the same quality of voice, data, or video as they would in the office. Now, we've done this by sending them a very small SD-WAN device, the size that fits directly through their letterbox, which is also really easy to install. Now, these boxes arrive pre-configured, so you can receive the same level of security as you would as if you were in the office. So building a sound foundation using the latest advances in technology is really important, but the implementation doesn't have to be too onerous. If nothing else, COVID-19 has highlighted the necessity of enabling flexible working. However, unfortunately, from our experience, many of the core systems that travel and transportation companies use to manage the essential flow of goods and services and people happen to be on premise, such as handling bookings. So if you haven't done already, now is the time to adopt a cloud-first strategy. At Intergents, our managed services team have been able to continue serving all of our customers from home, and we've been able to do this for the past 2.5 years. This is because we implemented a cloud-based contact center solution called Five9. Now, Five9 not only gives us a great deal more functionality, it's also really easy to install and can integrate with all of your systems, including CRM, booking handling, and service desk, etc. Also, usually we can get a service like this up and running for our clients within a week to 10 days. So it's quite easy to quickly get operators delivering services anywhere, anytime. Last year, we helped a travel business set up this service, so they've been lucky enough to continue taking freight bookings and inquiries remotely throughout the crisis. Now, if you combine this with our SD-WAN in a box solution, then you can continue maintaining the same quality of service to your customers, and implementation can be fast and doesn't have to be too difficult. Whilst many leisure travellers are very, very familiar with self-serve, commercial freight business are less so, and many still rely on supplier staff to do a lot of the work, a lot of the bookings on their behalf. This can be really time consuming for freight staff and result in a lot of rework, a lot of waste and errors too. Now, last year we implemented a self-serve website for a travel client, giving their freight customers the ability to book their own space on vessels and upload all documentation such as digital consignment notes. In addition, the portal is integrated with their booking systems via APIs, so it keeps everything in sync. So you can imagine now how much precious time this is saving them as well as money. A self-serve approach can also be extended to other critical parts of the business, such as crew. For another client, we implemented a crew management solution, initially to help them optimize and improve manning levels, but also to meet government regulations. However, this solution also came with a portal so crew can update their HR affairs and view and interact with their roster without the need for them to come into the office or make a call. Now, there was a lot of pressure on freight operations to keep maintaining the supply of essential goods and services. However, from our experience, although freight amounts to, in some travel and transportation business, about 80% of their revenue, most of these operations use a plethora of systems, spreadsheets, and manual processes to manage their freight. At Incidence, we've developed a range of digital solutions, from web booking portals, which I mentioned earlier, through to tablet-based apps to help marshals plan, load, and offload vehicles on vessels efficiently and really effectively. In fact, we'd be delighted to do a demonstration of the app or the website if you express some interest via the feedback form. Mobile apps can also be useful to automate other kinds of processes, such as the reporting of the condition of vehicles, as well as accidents and incidents. In fact, for one client, we saw a significant increase in the level of reporting of incidents, which is a good thing, because that means that more accidents can be avoided through more root cause preventative measures, a bit like the COVID-19 testing and tracing strategy. And as damages and claims, as you know, they can run into the millions of pounds each year. COVID-19 will also have a significant impact on the way we travel, and we really need to think about this. Some predictions say we're going to travel much less. Others say there's going to be pent-up demand for that last-minute holiday. But one thing is for sure, it won't be the same. We've already started to see long queues at immigration emerging due to the health checks. And also some countries are starting to restrict entry without a certification. So the online journey really needs to adapt to start to inform us about what to pack, what to tick, where to sit, when to travel, and the prices to pay. So all of the algorithms behind solutions such as seat selection and revenue management need to be re-engineered and reimagined. And whilst it's really important to make it really safe and comply with latest government guidelines for those that do travel, we also need to make their experience as easy and enjoyable as possible. Because if there's too much friction in the journey, too many clicks, they may drop out and then even call the office. So it's really important we make the new online journey as smooth and as easy and simple as possible. Now, many travel and transportation businesses we know use multiple databases, multiple systems, and multiple platforms across their entire freight and leisure operations, which makes it really difficult for IT teams, especially during a crisis like this, to understand what is happening really quickly with their systems and data, and to pinpoint service problems quickly and effectively. Equally, if they're not presented with this data in a simple way that gives them real insights, action simply won't be taken, and incidents will become problems fast. Now, digital marketeers and athletes have spent many years investing in high quality data to improve the performance. However, we believe the time has now come to start doing the same for your IT infrastructure. In fact, Stratium is the world's first operational data correlation and visualization platform. It sits on top of your entire IT infrastructure and provides you with a simple, single view of your systems and data. Stratium is also very easy to install. It uses open APIs to connect to your existing IT infrastructure. And it saves you lots of time and money because it helps you get to those problems or root causes really, really fast. Also, with its predictive monitoring capability, it can stop problems from occurring and save hundreds of hours of downtime per week, per month, ensuring your teams can keep on working. Because many staff have been furloughed, businesses don't always have access to the resources and the skills that they need to manage their IT infrastructure. Yet many are still required to deliver essential equipment, medicine, food, and people. And as you know, supply chains are really complex networks of people and systems. But it's really important to keep your key resources full focused and motivated without them having to worry about IT. Also, as businesses start getting furloughed staff back to work, not all of them will have the necessary skills to manage or support IT. At Incidence, our managed service operation has started to help many of our clients get their key staff back to work by taking on some of the IT tasks many furloughed staff aren't able to do. Also, our predictive monitoring capability, Stratium, which is easy to install, will help to predict potential issues much faster and stop them occurring. Now, managed services not only save you time and money, they also help you focus on what really matters and, as I just said, can get your business back to work. So, in conclusion, COVID-19 has had a significant impact on the travel and transportation sector, and it's very unlikely to return to normality very soon. But there is a glimmer of hope for those who act now and fast-track their digital change projects. Now, based on our experience, if you implement some or all of the strategies we have spoke about, there are some significant and sizable benefits up for grabs. For example, with one client where we help them refresh and modernize their entire infrastructure, as well as migrate many applications and services to the cloud, they saw a significant cost reduction, in fact, a 65% reduction in costs, so less storage, less computation, less space. Also, if you extend the self-serve approach to other parts of business, including the reporting and processing of accidents, incidents, and vehicle damages, we help one business see a reduction in the number of costly claims by about 25%, and that's as a result of more preventative measures. Automating core processes such as freight management, from web booking all the way through to loading and offloading vehicles and vessels. Automating that process has seen some of our clients achieve over 350 hours of improved efficiency and reduction in manual processing and non-value adding work a week. And this allows the team to keep focused on what really matters. Also, by reimagining the customer journey and making it as frictionless and as smooth and as simple as possible, can avoid people abandoning. And we helped one client improve the customer digital online journey, and they saw a significant increase in conversion rate, 0.9%, which is quite a lot of revenue savings. And great news for those IT people if we're able to install those tools such as Stratium, which reduces many of the platforms and logins that they have to experience. And we did this with one client, and that reduced from 30 down to 1. Also, our managed services using predictive monitoring capability, we've seen we help our clients, in fact, save hundreds of hours of system downtime each week. And we've even applied that managed service to ourselves and seen a reduction in trouble tickets or major incidents by 40%. And finally, if you're able to fast track all of the digital initiatives we've touched on today, then from our experience, we would expect to see an ROI in less than 2 years. Now, I hope you've enjoyed our webinar about managing digital change in the travel and transportation sector. Don't forget to give us some feedback via the forums at the end. And if you're interested in seeing more, learning more, or seeing a demonstration of the app, of the website, of the Stratium tool we spoke about, please let us know within that website. Thank you very much for your time, and goodbye.